Okay,
Go
live.
All right, so I just hit go live. We'll see what happens.
I'm live.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
He's got his
So
boom
you say boom, I'll say shakalaka, or you say
Boom.
shakalaka.
Crow for Congress. Gay for Crow. I wonder if I ran for Congress if all the gay men would vote for me. That would be really cool. I'd probably win.
Thumbnail, I think I think the four of us could fill up a cabinet pretty easy.
Could you see this lot running anything?
Dude, that is an incredible thumbnail, Randall. That was a thing of beauty.
No, this is actually my room.
The only thing you got wrong was, my beard, and then Jake has an extra 2 abs. So other than that, spot on.
Welcome to the live stream, guys. What are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, you've got a bunch of Ripple behind you. You know, you want to talk about some Ripple?
Yeah, can you teach everybody how to short Ripple?
Yeah, really.
That's honestly the reason why Ripple went up so parabolic.
It was all Jake's fault.
What's the reason?
It was all of the people shorting on BitMEX. They got shorts went crazy parabolic. When Ripple went up and it hit that first resistance point, shorts went like through the roof. And then all it took was just a little bit of a price increase to just start liquidating shorts. And every 5 cents that it went higher, people just kept trying to short it down, and they just kept getting liquidated. So it was just a massive short squeeze.
Huh.
Does it look like it's over, or is it going to keep on going? Because I heard it's going to be to $589 in the next 3 months.
Pretty close. I think like 475's resistance, 320's resistance, and then 112's resistance. So we got a few resistance layers to get through.
A couple. Yeah. Did you guys see that they have that swell? Is it a conference? They're in San Francisco, I guess, October 1st and 2nd. They got like Bill Clinton there. They've got like a bunch of the guys from the central banks. It looks like they're really trying to take this stuff, super serious and really, push the banking side of things like they've been saying. And it looks like now they're really pushing forward. I know this is the second one that they've done at least, but
everybody last year was like consensus 1.0, the consensus pump 1.0. Everybody was like expecting this massive run last year out of swell. It was like the same time as like the R3 conference, and the price of Ripple just tanked. They had no good announcements. It just got smashed. I think what's happening though, personally, from a tech standpoint, they got hit with like all these lawsuits, which the lawsuits were like crazy because it would be like a guy lost $500 on Poloniex and he was suing him for like $2.6 million. Like that was like the flavor of these lawsuits. But I think that they're rolling out XRapid to prove it's a utility so that they don't keep getting hit with these security lawsuits, because they've had XRapid for like 5 years and they had like one bank in Mexico that was using it and like not very much. So I think
was my conspiracy too. I totally thought, because they had all these securities lawsuits and then like nothing actually uses XRP except for XRapid all of a sudden. And but now they have partnerships, UBS, Santander, PNC.
Yeah, they got the PNC. They got Santander's. It's actually speaking there at Swell. They got Clinton speaking at Swell. They've got I forget, he was like the who was he? He was like the National Economic Advisor or something like that for Clinton and for Obama speaking there. They're doing some like programming. I don't know if they're doing courses or just talking about it. They've got a bunch of meet and greets and private meetings and breakfasts and lunches, but it looks like it's mostly around banking and using it in banks. So it's kind of curious to see with their X protocol, is that even going to affect Ripple, the XRP, the XRapid? Is that?
Well, here's my question: isn't this just going to put us back to where we were before 2008, when the banks just can do whatever they want anyways, and now they can just transfer money across countries a lot faster? Like, at least what I thought, a lot of the idea behind Bitcoin was a peer-to-peer currency. And It just seems like XRP completely does away with that.
Yeah, I mean, the thought of trading your Bitcoin for a centralized pre-mined coin is like insanity to me. But the only reason you'd ever do it is to accumulate more Bitcoin, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So from a trading perspective, it's great because you're able to accumulate more Bitcoin. But I mean, you take a coin that has billions and billions of circulation, and you're literally just like, you know, institutional money's buying Ripple, but it's basically just extracting Bitcoin out of the market. Hmm. Especially those top buyers, those FOMO buyers. Mm-hmm. That's a good number of people that get liquidated.
That's the best place. That's how you trade, though. You buy high and then sell low, right?
It's hard to be mad at them, right? Nobody, and they passed Ethereum, but I think they fell back, right?
Yeah, nothing I just said was heard on my channel, unfortunately, because I had my OBS muted. But but yeah, everybody knows I bought Ripple specifically because they're a marketing powerhouse, and that's it. I don't really know or care 100% what is going on with Ripple. I just know that it could be absolutely nothing. And just the way that they market consistently, day to day, it's going to drive up the value over time. And so,
plus, I mean, I got a lot of people in my chat, and I don't know if we want to talk about this a little bit, but Ripple is the most decentralized cryptocurrency out there. That's according to David Schwartz, the Ripple CTO.
He said, did you say centralized or decentralized?
Decentralized.
He said that with a straight face too.
No, that's what David Schwartz said, the CTO of Ripple. If you guys don't know that, David Schwartz came up with distributed ledger technology in the early 90s. The guy's a genius.
Yes, he is. No, Ripple. I mean, the thing with them is, dude, from day one they've worked. I mean, you can love them, hate them. You can say they're centralized. You can say they have a big supply. You can say all kinds of things about them, but it works. And that's why, like American Express, Santander's, that's why, they're using them. Banks are using them. It may be kind of a database of sorts, but dude, it works. I mean, I put it on my wallet. I mean, it works.
I got a lot of people in my chat saying, if you don't know anything about Ripple, then don't talk shit about it. So I just want to clear it up here. I invested in Ripple in 2016 on Poloniex Trollbox for over about 2 years. My name was XRP Whale. I am very, very familiar with Ripple. I mean, I've been following the project since 2015. I actually almost went to the San Francisco meetup where they gave you 100,000 Ripple just for attending the meetup in San Francisco. So I've been around Ripple for a long time. What's funny is this Ripple army is insane, man. They just came out in December. They bought at all-time highs, and now they're just fanatical about driving that price back up or something. Mm-hmm. But I've been around Ripple for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, just like Crow said, I mean, they are straight marketing geniuses, and their product works. I mean, look at how many, ICOs and things like that don't have the marketing, don't have a working product, and people love them. It's, I don't want to be a huge advocate, on either side of Ripple, but it's one of those things where it's like they have a working product and they've got a press machine behind them, and they just overtook Ethereum. I know they came back down, but still, it's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's saying XRP is not Ripple.
X-Rapid or Ripple.
Yeah, well,
XRP.
I mean, you can call things whatever you want.
Did you guys see the email press release about that? XRP, Ripple sent out a press release to like influencers saying, you know, we are no longer calling this Ripple. It's now only XRP.
Well, Bitcoin Cash isn't Bcash, but that's the thing. Like for years and years, it was Ripple on CoinMarketCap. And now they've just distanced themselves because of the securities lawsuits.
Ah, good point.
Like people call it whatever they call it. We can call it XRP.
I call it XRP. I call it Ripple. And that's what
the main reason why I bought so much Ripple in 2016. So I bought Ripple at like 0.8 of a penny, and I bought a lot of it. And that's basically why I live in Miami and I'm retired. So I don't hate Ripple. Ripple allowed me to have the life that I have. But the reason why I initially bought Ripple was because I saw a coexisting ecosystem. And Crypto Love and I have talked about this. There's two types of people that get into crypto. I got into crypto initially because of censorship resistance money, decentralization, and being able to own my own money in a way that I could transport it easily and quickly. So that was the main reason why I got into money. But I understand that there's a lot of people that don't want that. If people didn't want, if people wanted custody of their money, they would still put it in their mattress. They would have safes in their houses. So there's a reason that banks exist. And there's a big issue with banks, from immigration, sending money overseas. Every time you send money through MoneyGram or Telegram or through Western Union, it's like $50 to $200 for like a $2,000 transfer. So when I saw the power of Ripple being able to send it for pennies on the dollar, I was like, that's massive. But then also they started getting all these central banks on board. And so I was like, well, you're going to have a dual ecosystem with both decentralized money and centralized money. And Ripple is going to by far lead the way and pilot that. So Ripple and Stellar were my two biggest holdings of 2016, 2017, just because Stellar was focused on, they were focused on emerging markets, the unbanked populations, whereas Ripple was focused on the remittance industry, fast payments, transactions for pennies on the dollar. So that's why I invested in Ripple initially, was because I saw that we needed both ecosystems. And I knew that, if Ripple could really come through with transferring money from, let's say, US dollar to yen with that Ripple inner bridge for pennies, that's going to save trillions of dollars in money wires and, foreign transactions. So that's why I invested in Ripple initially.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. A lot of people, they invested, early. They made some good money. People heard about it. They got into it when it was like 20, 25 cents, and it just stayed flat. You guys remember like 17 where it just kind of stayed flat? I had so many people tell me, Beatles, why do you like Ripple or whatever? And I'm like, dude, just watch, right? And then towards the end of 17, it freaking took off like a rocket.
Parabolic.
Exactly. So
I got it at 26 cents. It's like at 58 cents right now, and I'm happy as hell. I can't wait for it to get to $9.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as Ethereum doesn't chase after it too much.
The Howey test. Let's do it real quick. Buying something with the expectation of profit.
You know what?
Not a security.
Everything that I buy, I expect a profit from it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Not a security.
But didn't the Howey test even fail in a New York court, just like in the past week or two, where somebody met all the qualifications of the Howey test and the judge is like, I don't care. You're still a security? Didn't that just happen like a couple weeks ago?
Did you guys see the letter that was penned by the Bitcoin Core developer?
Are you talking about when they found the error with it just recently?
No. This is just recently. One of the most well-known Bitcoin Core devs got together with, I can't say, it's not Goldman Sachs, but one of those big banking institutions, and they penned a letter to the New York Attorney General and the SEC, basically saying all of the laws need to be rewritten and why Bitcoin being held by enterprise level institutions is a massive problem. And here's the things that they need to do. And they were specifically targeting ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, and BACT. And they wrote this huge letter why that's going to be a massive problem and why the SEC needs to deny it until these action steps were taken. It was a pretty good letter. I could find it and I could do some quotes from it, but I thought that was pretty fascinating.
I just saw how they're trying to get the IRS to strengthen the tax code and kind of define things more clearly and all that. I didn't see what you're just talking about.
That would be great.
We definitely need clarity.
Yeah, for sure.
So Bitcoin Core Dev joins. Morgan Stanley to warn the SEC.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So Jake, what do you think, man? Do you think they're going to? You think they're going to let the Van Eck go through on the 30th, or do you think they're going to postpone it? You think they're
somebody just wrote an article saying that the Van Eck ICO from an inside source at the CBOE says it's almost a certainty.
What's a certainty? That it's going to be delayed?
Is that why the price keeps going up? Because normally, like before they announce like these ETFs, it seems like some people already, like some of the big people already know ahead of time that it's going to get postponed, delayed, denied. And you see kind of the market kind of go down. Do you think that because we're seeing all this green, something good's going to happen? Like it go through?
I think it's just priced in. But if you look at what's happening with Tether, dude, the Tether blockchain goes offline and then Bitcoin dumps for like $500. And then, we're just seeing these massive volatility swings. What's really happening is unregulated exchanges are, and I'm not, but this is just coming from, I understand quantum mechanics. I understand hedge fund mechanics. There are entities in China that are being paid massive amounts of money to use high frequency trading bots. And what they do is they measure and analyze 1 minute volume candles so they can literally paint like a picture of where liquidity zones are. So like when you've got like Bitfinex and BitMEX, man, they just run right through those liquidity zones, liquidating stops, and then they'll just run it right back the other way. And so for me, I just can't see how the SEC could approve this type of market until we get more regulated oversight, because Bitfinex and BitMEX, they don't accept U.S. investors for that reason. They don't want to be under CFTC oversight, SEC oversight. So it's still a wild, wild west market because, when you have the index price that's hooked to Gemini and CoinBase and Bitfinex and BitMEX or whatever it is, these markets are completely wild, wild west, especially when liquidity and volume are still so low. So I don't think it's a certainty that the ETF is going to be approved, because the last 2 weeks of trading just show that this market it's still way too unregulated.
Yeah, I can see it going both ways, man. I can totally see everything that you're saying and all the truth behind it and be like, it makes total sense right now to delay it. But then on the other side, it's like when I see the market and I keep seeing it going green, and I understand about the high frequency trading bots, but it's like, maybe they know something we don't. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe they know something we don't. So I know that we're going to get one. I know we're going to get one. I just don't know if it's going to be on the 30th.
It's not going to be until February. I've already written all this bullshit off. There's no ETF decision coming until February. There's no reason the SEC is going to make a decision on anything earlier than they have to.
Go up to that.
What'd you say, Bearded? Bearded one?
I said it's going to be announced at the Chainwise conference.
That's right. It'll be announced there.
Hester Pierce.
That's right.
Who do we have?
There's no reason let me ask you guys this. What reason would the SEC have? Yes, I've been drinking my scotch. Suck it. What reason would the SEC
I said I would join you, so I have my own right here.
Yeah, you need to catch up, slacker. I saw where that glass started. Mine was to the brim when I started.
I didn't say I'd beat you.
And this is 18, so, I'm already... Dude, I'm dipping on camera. Like,
dude, you're like twice as big as me. Easy.
I know. All the guys say that.
It's supposed to be all the ladies say that, not the guys.
I'm not twice as big as them. So the crypto's 2018. He's already posted this damn thing 15 times already. A question for the audience: what do you think about games on the blockchain? CryptoKitties, Hash Puppies, or Crypto Gladiators? Actually, you know what? There's a company that's been hitting me. Somebody donated $5 through Super Chat. Julio Yu. Have you guys been contacted by the OX humans people?
Oh, yeah,
No.
they want to like take us and put us on a blockchain.
Yeah, so they contacted me a few weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this idea?" And we're still at the beginning stages, and I'm like, "Well, I got a bunch of influencers who would love to be like have their own card," and we've been kind of going back and forth, and they just sent me their white paper like a few days ago. I actually think it looks cute. Like, I think projects like that are a waste of space, personally. But, I mean, they're kind of fun. You know what I mean? So is a board game. Just because it's not necessarily, you know, a big tech company doesn't... I think it could be kind of fun. So I like it. So, anyway, Backed can now do its thing in November. What is that? Shit!
Yeah, speaking of a board game, check that out, huh?
I didn't even know that existed.
That's pretty sweet.
I'm a diehard Deadpool fan. When you said board game, it's like I had to break that thing out. It just came in the mail today.
Man. Now you're trying to make me jelly. I'm going to have to go get my own Monopoly Deadpool game.
Yep.
One quick question. Somebody pay me $5, I guess. I never see this money ever. I feel like people waste their money doing these tips. If anybody watching, if you want to get my attention, just do $1. You don't have to. I've seen $5, $20. I never see a penny of it. Backed can now do its thing in November without any SEC news influencing things. Their Twitter is informative and bullish. So maybe it's somebody from Backed. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, with Backed, we don't particularly need... I mean, Backed is doing the same thing as ETFs, except they're actually going to be backed by Bitcoin.
And Beatles, I'm going to tell you right
But
now,
I don't think any of that stuff matters anyways. Like, sure, the stuff could inflate price, but all of this stuff about ETFs and Backed and all that just came about when Arthur Hayes said, hey, we'll have a $50,000 Bitcoin when there's an ETF. And what happened after that? People started betting on BitMEX a lot more than they were before. So he was just saying that to get publicity, make a lot of money for himself. Even if an ETF or Backed gets approved, are we going to have a $50,000 Bitcoin? I don't exactly know.
Not this
my
year,
my personal opinion is one day, yes. Do I think the ETF will do it? No. But I think the ETF kind of brings some credibility to the crypto space that allows more people to come into it. And so we all know, you know, you put $1 in, it goes up $50 on the market cap, right? So I don't think the ETF on its own is going to do anything really except add credibility to the space.
Well, but that's, I mean, in a market where everybody's shit scared and everybody, so many people bought in on the high and, you know, watched it all come down. Everybody just wants to feel safe. And it's like everybody's looking at this space as a way to make a lot of money potentially, especially now where the market's at. But they're scared to death that the floor is going to fall out of it. And so when the government basically says it's okay to risk pension funds and other like-minded money into this kind of atmosphere, that's when everybody will feel safe and start buying back into it. And I feel like everybody's waiting for that approval to say, yes, everybody, it's okay, you're safe, your money's safe. A lot of people just need to be led because they don't have the time to go reading everything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you definitely have some validity to your points there, man. Once an ETF is approved, people are going to feel a little bit more safe, I think, and I think more money will come in. But I don't think it's just because of the ETF. I think it's because of what the ETF stands for and means, just like what you said right there. When you're basically saying that, you know, all these other pensions are coming in behind it, the government's kind of approved it, people are going to feel a bit safer, just like you said, and then you'll start seeing the effect of that. I don't think we're going to have $50,000 Bitcoin just because an ETF comes up, you know, gets approved. But
yes, that's Crypto Love's bedroom behind him.
Yeah, if we have $50,000 Bitcoin, I'm going to recreate that bedroom just for myself.
Exactly.
Well, that poster was actually a gift from you, Beatles. You remember?
Yeah, but you know that was our secret.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I mean,
you guys are so sweet. You exchange little
totally
gifts
not.
to each other.
And that's totally not a little sex doll right there.
Is Jacob charting right now? That's what I want to know. Is he charting or watching chat?
Yeah, he's watching an episode of Lost. Yeah.
I'm drunk enough to start a fight. What the fuck? What's up?
I've seen that.
Just reading chat. I was looking for questions.
I don't have any questions. I just have people like just talking about, I don't even know, all kinds of random stuff.
They're all my chats filled with Ripple people.
Dude,
Dude, that's
funny.
the only thing that was in the news this week, period.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's ever in the news.
Today there was that one thing with Bitcoin where they found a bug in the code, but they fixed it.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a bug in Bitcoin's code too, right? You guys see that?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I just said Ripple. I was like, yeah, I didn't hear about that one. But
one of the biggest things that no one's really talking about is that they're really not they really don't know what. Well, I don't think anybody's really even considered this yet, but Bitcoin Core is building privacy on to Bitcoin. So what happens when an ETF comes and you have all of these backed, so it's physically bought Bitcoin, but what happens if they just fork the code? And they're left with derivative IOUs for this coin. But if all of the developers and all of the miners shift to another forked coin, what happens?
Well, wouldn't they still, I mean, those derivatives that they have that they're left with, they would be entitled to a certain amount of the forked coins, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't it be like any other fork, or they get, they have one coin and they get another?
Well, but they don't own the physical coin; they own a derivative.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, I mean, derivatives are all made up money anyways, so it could just be like, it could be Bitcoin Classic derivatives,
There's just a lot to consider, and that's why I think it'll be delayed or possibly. I mean, it's just such a newer technology that they need to shift all the laws, not just taxes, but security laws. I mean, it's just a new form of money. You're able to transfer value over the internet. Never before have we been able to do that. So it's like you have to reinvent every law, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think of Mike Novogratz talking about how the bear market's over?
Wait, what?
I said, what do you guys think about Mike Novogratz? Came out.
If I had a hedge fund that was 40% underwater, I'd probably try and convince as many people as possible that the market was over.
Because this is like the second time he's done this, and it didn't work the first time either. So,
it's a day by day market, man. You can't say that the bear market is over unless you have confirmation that the bear market's over.
Which there is none.
Just because we have the bottom doesn't mean we've broken the downtrend. We're not even close to breaking the downtrend on Bitcoin and the altcoin market as a whole. The altcoin market cap, it bounced off the 618 fib, but does that mean we're out of the bear market? Not really. I mean, you have to wait for confirmation. So to declare that is a little.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said he's got his own fund, right? So, so what do you think? What does Jake think as far as when are we going to be out of the bear market and into the bull? What prices do we need?
Throw his balls onto the fire, Beatles. Go for it.
I'd say a brick. So if you read my Bitcoin analysis, it was number one on TradingView for a week. Basically, every single pullback. So what I mean by pullback is we crashed down to 6K after 20K. So 20K down to, well, I guess we did 11, 15, and then basically hit right around 6,000, then pulled back to 11. Then, so we did these bounces, but every bounce was a 61.8% Fibonacci, which is known as the golden ratio or the golden zone. But that pullback from the swing high to the swing low, it hit 61.8, 61.8, 61.8, and it did this about 6 times. So once we break out of that downtrend, and so the next 61.8 is 6,900. $6,900 to $50. So if we can break that, then I think that we will, if we can break it on a daily candle closing and then a weekly candle closing, then I think we'll have a good, basically bulls will be back in control of the market. If we hit 6,900 and then we move back down, then we could retest those 6K lows one more time. And from there, it's really a matter of, will volume come back in? Because volume is still shit. Volume is the confirmation of price action. Until you get volume that follows up, the price action is irrelevant, because if the price goes up to 7K, but the volume continues to drop off, then you never get confirmation that people want to buy at those levels. when price goes up and volume continues to go up, that's when you know you're in an uptrend. When price goes down and volume starts to go down, that means that the sellers are no longer selling at those lower levels. But when price goes down and volume picks up, that's when you know you're still in a downtrend. And that's what we keep seeing. Every time the price goes down, volume goes through the roof. So that's given us confirmation that downtrend is still valid.
And for those of you on my channel, a lot of people think that this little blonde kid, he's like 16. I know, he's young. But this is I Love Crypto, and he's actually one of, I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the top Bitcoin technical analysis guys out there. Follow him on Twitter to see what I'm talking about. He's not new. He's been at this a lot longer than I have. Probably most of us, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Maybe Beatles, I'm not sure. But yeah, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. That's why I shut up and listen. I would advise everybody out there to do the same and check out his channel. He's a good dude. I met this guy in New York. He's like 4'2" and he's like 16, but he's super smart. So you just got to pay attention, folks.
That's just because I shaved the beard, bro. I appreciate the time. Yeah. I guess I need to grow it back out.
Hey man, I wish to God I could look 25, let alone 16. I mean, you know, it's all good.
Everybody looks 4'2" from Jason's height.
Yeah, I guess so.
When you're 19 feet tall.
Like everybody.
What does everybody think about blockchain gaming?
Oh, I can't wait for there to be gaming.
Blockchain's got a long way to go.
Games that people play, like stuff like Destiny or PUBG or any of that, where you can earn stuff in there and then actually own the rights to that, to where you can sell it to somebody else and make money from it.
Oh, I know what you just did. A company that just reached out to me had to have just reached out to you. Was it BitGuild?
No,
a company called BitGuild just reached out to me, and I was watching their video, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually pretty damn cool. Basically, what they want to do is they want to take items, swords, whatever, like your favorite shit out of whatever video game you're playing, tokenize it, and you can actually store it on a graphically viewable wallet. And then you can sell it if you want. And you can't use it in other games, obviously, but as like a token, a memento, or, you know, trophy, that kind of thing. And I thought that was actually kind of cool. I actually want to create a trading card game on the blockchain. Not because it needs it, just because I think it'd be fun. But I'm probably never going to do it because I already fucked up one game. I'm probably not doing it again.
I think your idea about the channel in the house was better.
Shh. Someday under a different name.
What Crypto Love was saying, I think it just depends on the game. So like a game like a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, an MMORPG, where you can validate the items with the ownership and you can track the transactions. Like, you know, back like Diablo 2.
Duping.
Yeah, you used to be able to like dupe gems and like stuff like that.
How many of you guys ever played Shadowbane?
Yeah, all I see is a pinwheel. That's all I'm picturing all of us gaming on the blockchain and just waiting for it to load.
I actually created
network congestion
in a game called Shadowbane years and years and years ago, and I figured out that when the servers reset, if you drop items from your backpack, the second the servers came down, when you logged back in, they'd still be sitting there and in your backpack. And I spread that out, and I think I actually I might have been responsible for ruining that whole fucking game. Because once that got out, people were just duplicating all their gold, all their resources, and giant cities popped up overnight. But you wouldn't have shit like that if it were done on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jacob. I'm still listening.
No. I agree. I agree 100%. Same thing with Diablo 2. You used to be able to copy them on your hard drive and like the little file that they were stored on based on your items. You could like copy your character over. Same shit.
Right. I would love an MMO on the blockchain personally. I would love to be earning. Damn.
Favorite video game. What's everybody's favorite video game?
Ultima Online.
If you could put it on the blockchain, what would it be?
Ultima Online. Wow, dude, that's an old school. I had a buddy that dropped out of high school for that game.
What?
Yeah, well, he had like, I mean, he was like one of the original players, and he sold his character to some guy in New York for a bunch of money. But yeah, he was like 15, and he stayed home, and yeah,
I love
yeah,
that
really
game. To this day, I still think about that's a lot of people. A lot of the crazy people that like hunt me down. They're always trying to post all kinds of oh, Crow's a scammer. They're people that like wanted me to create this game that I tried to launch like 6 years ago. It was going to be like I was trying to create an Ultima Online successor, but in like 3D, and it was a total train wreck. But yeah, dude, Ultima Online to this day is my favorite game ever, and I wish somebody would come out with a duplicate of it, even just in 3D. It would be amazing.
Yo, Crypto Stash says he played Ultima Online
because it's the best. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was grindy. I don't even know if I would have time to play it like I did back then. But dude, it was just, I don't know, man. It was like the first time I ever saw like a true world. You know, I mean, it was isometric, it was top down, the graphics weren't great, but back then it was still like it opened a whole new world, man. And then from there you got EverQuest. That was the first 3D venture into MMO gaming I ever had, and that was mind-blowing to me. I'm a gamer. I've always been a gamer, so I love it. Somebody asked us if we were going to all shave our beards when Bitcoin gets back to 20,000.
Yeah, there you go. Imagine Zelda or like Grand Theft Auto on the blockchain.
You know, if there's any game that I could see doing that,
virtual reality Zelda.
Rockstar.
Do you know that? You know how sweet that would be?
What is it?
That would be sick.
VR Zelda.
I never played
You guys remember
that.
Zelda?
I can't do virtual reality yet. It makes me sick.
I hear there's some things you got to try on VR that'll definitely change your opinion from what I hear.
Yeah, dude, I would just throw up all over those virtual boobs. I don't think I could handle that. I'm serious. Dude, I was all pumped. I got the kids the PlayStation 4 VR and Skyrim, and I had that headset on for like 3 minutes max, and I wasn't right for 2 days.
I heard that PlayStation VR is one of the best. So what's your favorite video game, Beatles?
You know, probably, back from when I was a kid, it'd be like Zelda or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or Contra or one of the old school games, man. Even Twisted Metal. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh my God.
Rob Zombie. Remember Rob?
Wow.
What was your favorite character in Twisted Metal?
A, left, right. What was the code for Contra? I remember that shit on the original, on the Nintendo.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start.
Select, start, yeah. Was that Contra or was that Mario Brothers?
That was Contra.
That's what I thought. Wow, I can't believe I sort of remembered that.
Yeah, mine was Halo 2. Like, I mean, that game was just fun. You meet up with your friends and just play that all night. Yeah.
I'm playing Witcher 3, actually, right now. Again, I played it before, but I'm playing it again. That's an awesome game if you haven't played it.
Aaron just picked up a new game too. It's kind of like Ninja Gaiden, but it's not. Aaron, what's it called? He'll tell me in a second.
Leisure Suit Larry. You know what they need to do? They need to recreate Maniac Mansion on PlayStation 4 on like current gen platforms. Make it bigger, better. That would be insane.
Neo? He says it's called Neo. You guys got to check that game out. It's kind of like Ninja Gaiden, just a little different. He's on it all the time. Awesome. Yeah.
U.S. lawmaker introduces three pro-cryptocurrency bills to Congress. That's an interesting article.
Warcraft 3 was probably my favorite, and then StarCraft. Warcraft and StarCraft were two of my favorite games.
Man, that was fun when they had like little mini orcs on the screen and everything. I remember those games.
What? Dang. Why do you keep touching me?
It is cool just to hang out, man, and we don't always have to just talk shop. So,
I lost a couple years of my life to World of Warcraft.
Oh, dude, I play Hearthstone right now. I still love that game.
Well, dude, Crow, I used to play Warhammer and stuff like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you played War Machine yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's so much better than Warhammer.
Dude, I was at some conventions and I was in like the magazines for like White Dwarf magazine and stuff. Not because of my amazing beard, but because I was super cool and played those games.
Oh, dude, I didn't know. I love Warhammer, man. I have some big orc stuff that I bought just because I wanted to paint them for Warhammer. They're in my other office, but dude, War Machine. I play convert like my tattoo on my arm. You can't see it, but the viewers can. This is actually the Convergence of Cyrus, the Iron Maiden Mother. It's the Convergence of Cyrus logo that's on my arm. I love it. What can I say? I'm a nerd.
Nice.
Well, in the thumbnail, you got an axe. Next time, we got to give you a big old hammer. So,
yeah, big old Thor hammer.
That's it. All right. So, favorite movies, man. So, Siri Noors asked, what's everybody's favorite movie?
I'm not telling you guys mine because you guys are douchey and you'll laugh at me.
Oh,
Dumb and Dumber.
Is it The Princess Bride? Is that Trump's favorite movie?
Yours is Dumb and Dumber.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb and Dumber.
Mine is Good Will Hunting.
Oh yeah, they wrote that about me. Actually, it was a very good movie. Got me emotional.
They did a good job.
They did. They did a very good job. They got the height wrong, but other than that, it was pretty accurate.
Yeah, for me, probably Super Troopers or Boondock Saints. I love those.
Boondock Saints. Do you know what happened with Boondock Saints?
They recreated it and made it shitty.
Well, you talking about where they stole the rights to it from the guy, or?
Well, no, they were going to do this massive U.S. launch, and then the Columbine shooting happened.
Oh.
So they actually couldn't launch their movie in the U.S. They like got blocked by all these people because there was.
Oh my God! Somebody in my chat guessed my favorite movie. And I can't believe that I just saw this. It is The Notebook. That is so funny.
Dude, that is my wife's absolute favorite movie.
Dude, I like movies that get me emotional. What can I tell you? I love The Notebook. My wife thinks it's silly too, but I love that movie.
So, Love, is it Boogie Nights for you?
Yeah, that was my younger years. No, Dumb and Dumber, man. I love that movie since the first day I saw it. I've watched that movie over 100 times. Just like I could watch it 100 more.
He does not smoke marijuana either.
No,
none whatsoever. Not even when I was younger. That was a big part of my high school experience.
Maybe I did mention it in previous videos. I don't remember.
It is a classic.
I love movies like Bloodsport with Van Damme. That was one of my favorite movies. I had that entire movie memorized, line for line, every movement.
Check out Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
I saw that. I couldn't get through
Hilarious.
it. I couldn't. I was like, oh, dude. Like, after watching you on a Tostitos commercial, I don't think I can invest myself into this show.
Yo, Miggity's in the house.
Miggity?
What up, Miggity?
He's in your channel, not in mine.
Yeah.
Good old Van Damme. Yeah, I actually saw him up in Sacramento not too long ago. He dropped by to see Uriah and Team Alpha Male and all those guys, man. So
yeah.
He's still out there, still alive and kicking. You know,
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. Him and that whole thing that he's got going with Steven Seagal back and forth is funny. Blade Runner, the original, was definitely one of my favorite movies. I have a lot of really like movies that I love and remember from back in the day, but I don't know, something about Notebook. The Green Mile would probably be like second. You guys make fun all you want. I'll.
These are great movies. They're classics. It's just there's inside jokes to each one of these movies that I'm thinking about that comes from my kid to to the wife. So I won't say them on the air, but I'll tell you off air. They're pretty funny, and you'll see why I was laughing.
Oh shit! All right, let's do something productive. What do we got? There's just
top three
tic-tac-toe
coins for long term. That's what I keep getting that question.
Top 3 coins. Okay, let's go over everybody's. I guess I'll let you guys start. Go ahead, Jacob.
I guess it depends on the entry or the market conditions.
Okay, take all that out of it because I agree with you. Like I talk a lot about like when I go into positions with Ethereum that it's all about the Ethereum spread and how much better I think it's going to do than Ethereum over time and all that stuff. But like overall, I think is what everybody's kind of looking for.
I think I still like OMG, especially at the price it's at right now. Stellar, I think, is one of the best long-term holds in my opinion. Just with, I think eventually, with all the partnerships they have, I think that Stellar will be bigger than Ripple. But the problem with Stellar is that 90% of the coins are held by the top 10 wallets. So that's a massive issue for like liquidity and decentralization. So, something's got to happen with that. But VeChain, I think, is just from a utility standpoint, they're just like so massive. They have so many partnerships. I don't know, 100 plus partnerships. And then Tron, I mean, those four are probably long term. You're talking like 5-10 years, and Ethereum. So those five.
All right, who's next? What you got, Love?
Oh, it's tough because there are a lot of good ones, and I agree with a lot of the ones that Jake said. But here's what I'd say for
Cardano
at this moment.
Cardano's fine, for sure.
I would say Bitcoin, Monero, and Neontology.
Good one.
It's funny. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's definitely, Bitcoin. And then obviously, Monarch. So those are my two favorites. And then, I'm kind of on the fence for the third one because there's so many. So if I wanted to pick 6 or 10, that's a no-brainer. But 3, I would probably have to say Siren, only because they're delivering this year. So, and I think that's
Siren Labs.
Yeah,
I think they're going to. Hope you're right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I had just heard about it, I'd be like, probably Cardano or Ontology. But being how I've been there, I've seen it, I've held it, I know who's working on the project. It's like, okay, it's more than hype, right? So I would say Siren Labs, and I'll know if I'm wrong in December. If they don't deliver a kick-ass phone in December, well then, I was, maybe wrong. But I've seen it. So as long as they work out all the bugs and they produce it, then that's one I'm excited about. And obviously, I think we all hold these coins. So
right. I'm pretty sure I have everything.
Let's go with like non-majors. What's a non-major coin that you really like?
Aeon, Matrix AI. Two I like. I mean, Cardano, would you consider that a major yet? It's still pretty much worthless.
Yeah, it's like top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely
man, there really are just so many. OMG, I like. Qtum, I think is probably going to do well coming back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think in terms of favorites, to be honest. I think in groups. I think, this sector might do well. This sector might do well. So, Note Chain, that's funny.
How long term are we talking?
When I think of like, I think over the next, I'm thinking 2019. Like, what are really going to blow up in 2019?
Because I'm thinking Dentacoin until people realize there's absolutely no use for that. I'm thinking that one's just going to keep on pumping and keep on doing amazing.
Tell Crypto Love that we're both big fans of the Neo blockchain. Ask him to have a look at my channel too, please. I talk about the Neo blockchain projects. This is Crypto's 2018. He's blowing up my chat.
Oh, thank you. What's up? Thanks for tipping Jason for me.
Oh shit!
All right. So
classic.
So who's got their next 3? Now these are going to be 3.
Oh, we're talking like low ones. Okay, here we go. These are like, there's a lot of good ones down there. Shoot.
I like Theta. I like what Theta's doing. They've got a solid team too. They've got like the co-founder from YouTube, and they've got one of the founders of Twitch. And so it's a content delivery network. I really like Theta.
I did a review.
I think I was like the first YouTuber to talk about Theta.
I am, fool.
I would disagree.
I'll fight you about it. You better check those dates.
All right, let's take a look.
It's funny because they probably came out at the same time.
Let me see. Crypto Crow Theta. I'm gonna do a search. Why I bought 7,650 tokens. Is that your video?
I don't know. I have to look.
I think also Loom is doing some pretty cool stuff. They're just like building dApps on there because I think coming up, like dApps are going to be very important. Also interconnectivity. I think those are my thoughts.
Yeah, why I bought 7,650 Theta tokens. That was 7 months ago.
Mine came out the day before yours.
Yeah.
Come on.
Whatever.
January 25th, you came out the 26th. You're biting on my channel, bro.
I didn't even know you were alive then, youngin. January 26th. Wow. All right.
Mine came out 25th.
Touche. I had upload times.
Well, I mean, you know.
I'm kidding. Fine, you win.
I think I figured my 3 out. So Randall, did you go? You get all 3?
I didn't get all 3. I would say probably Loom, Elastos, and I don't know a third. I could say Theta, but I don't want to copy.
Loom's pretty good. I like Loom.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're like differentiating scaling solutions based on what type of project it is. Like if it doesn't need security, well, you can make it super fast. If it does, I mean, so it's like decentralized applications that like allow for scalability. I like that a lot about Loom.
Yeah, because we still haven't had like a huge dApp run. It seems like all the platforms people are tired of platforms. So now we need to build some dApps on them.
What
do you guys think of credits?
I know Superman was in love with that. I just never bought into it. It was okay.
Well, I think my KuCoin bags, I just never looked at them. It was only like 10 Bitcoin. I didn't even they're just on KuCoin. And I think credits is one of them. I don't know why. The thing was that they were like basically saying they could do 1 million transactions per second with their test net. I haven't really looked and seen if they did anything, if they actually did it. But from initial glances, I just thought it was a scam. But they were claiming all this crazy hype shit. I don't know.
Look at Turnio if you're all about TPS.
Yeah, they definitely do have some marketing and some hype behind them for sure, and they do have a pretty big community of supporters. So it's I guess we'll just have to wait and see whether it's just vaporware, if it's real, or all that kind of stuff. So it's
Power Ledger. I think I can see Power Ledger doing really well long term once they get more infrastructure established.
Yeah. For me, the 3, it's tough because there's so many different projects out there, man, and there's so many that I've reviewed and looked at, and it's like, I got buddies and partners and everything. But if we take the partnership stuff out of it, and we just look at different things. I would say Dragon Chain. I know you guys, there's some love and some hate there, but dude, they have a solid team. They have a really, really solid team, and they're an infrastructure of sorts where people can build off of them.
Right.
And then if you look at things like Funfair, they're like this gambling ecosystem, right? And there's so many people that are placing bets and doing gaming and stuff like that. And I think
the CEO was practically knighted. He's like 1 rank or 2 ranks down from being knighted, which is
Funfair. I got in like
Jez Sand, the CEO of Funfair.
Yeah. And then another one that people either like or hate is Kin, because it's just a way to, send money across their already huge infrastructure of users. So I think like when Facebook comes out with their crypto, they're going to kill it, and if Kin can ever get their stuff together and monetize their users, they're going to kill it. If Telegram can monetize their users, they're going to kill it.
I'll tell you who I think will actually do well once they get their shit together and they start getting on some exchanges. Celsius Network.
Yeah, Alex is a great guy, dude. Alex and Dan and Nuke and all those guys, man.
Once he finds his happy place and he starts getting this damn coin listed on exchanges and it starts getting more liquid, it's going to draw more attention to the coin, more attention to the app, and I think it's going to draw in more people. He's supposed to speak at Chainwise, and I've confirmed it with his people. And I'm actually really hoping that he comes through and he does, because I would like to see Celsius do well. Because I think that what they're doing and the people behind it, obviously Alex being the main one, I think he's onto something, and I think it's just a matter of time until people start catching wind about what this Celsius app does and how they can make spare money, especially for long-term holders. There's no reason why you wouldn't want to utilize something like Celsius and earn interest on the coins you're holding. So it's not liquid. So even if you earn a shit ton of Celsius, there isn't a whole lot you can do with it yet. And I think that's holding them back. So yeah,
Alex is a really smart guy, and he's one of those people too that doesn't want to pay the exchanges their pound or 6 pounds of flesh.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know. Some people do, but a lot of people don't know that, like, to get listed on these major exchanges, you have to put down millions of dollars.
Right.
And then you have to give them huge sums of your tokens that they basically play with before you're able to. And so what do I mean by that? Like, if, like you have high frequency trading bots, well, some of these exchanges, they're actually moving the money that you gave them before you even know to move your money, if that makes sense. They're always a step ahead. So not only do they take all this money from you to get listed, then they're using your tokens kind of against you or in front of you. And so Alex knows that. And so he's...
he went on and on about it on my channel, like at the last interview we did. Oh, he's pissed about it. Like, he's like, fuck the world and all these exchanges. He's ready to burn them all to the ground and launch his own. So, and I think he was on Crypto Love's channel recently as well. So I don't know if he talked about that.
He did a really good interview. He blew my mind with the stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going somewhere.
A lot of the ICOs, most people don't know this, but I was kind of alluding to this a little bit earlier. In like China and Korea, some of these hedge funds and quant traders, they actually get paid like $5 to $6 million plus a stake of tokens to create price discovery and liquidity for an ICO. So when it gets listed, well, now they've got a massive volume of coins, plus they were paid like $5 million in Ether. And all they do is they basically like wash trade to create volume, to attract investors, and they can basically guarantee your coin will be listed at this price and we'll spike it to this price. And then we'll keep it there for X number of things. And then that's literally they're contractually bound to create price discovery to certain price levels.
Well, and I think that's kind of dictated by how much your budget is, right? Because can't you technically buy a marker so that your price never goes below a certain amount on a particular exchange?
You probably can, but if you remember in the decentralized debate, Al was talking about that, how, we don't need all these market makers and all these discoveries. We just need to let the free market determine whether there's something of value or not. But
and that was like the beauty of 2016 is it was true price discovery. It was true. There was not a lot of manipulation back then. It was literally supply demand, a lot of based on fundamentals. Hitting milestones is what would kind of dictate a coin's rise or fall. And that's what I think it was one of the purest markets, because I've traded Forex, I've traded options, I've traded, different markets, but it was one of the purest markets because it was really just defined by supply demand, and then whether or not a coin was achieving milestones and whether or not it was moving in the right direction. It was one of my favorite times of trading. So 3 coins that I would say that we haven't really talked about that I think will actually create user adoption. Basic Attention Token. It was mentioned by Tim Ferriss. They've got the Brave browser, Mozilla guy. I think that's a massive one. If they can really fix their UI UX and make it private. I've tried to use it, but I'm so stuck on Chrome. But I have my VPN and my firewall and all that stuff. Basic Attention Token, 0x, I think is such an underrated cryptocurrency. I think it's literally going to be the protocol for the exchange of all value. I think that because it's all run by old ex-CoinBase guys, or they're the advisors on it. So I think that 0x will probably be the protocol for exchanges in the future. And then Storm doesn't get a lot of love, but dude, they've got Uber as a client, Zynga as a client. They've got massive clients, and they're and if you talk about just like somebody who's never heard of crypto, you hop on the Storm Play app and you freaking just do micro tasks where you sign up for a email news list and you get 5 Storm tokens or whatever. That's one of the biggest I think user adoptions things is that Storm Play app. So those are my three other ones.
Solid.
I've never heard of Storm before, so I'm looking at it now.
Dude, Storm's app is sick, and Simon Yu, he's the CEO. Their team is really cool. Ari, she's like a ex hedge. She like basically was like a chief financial officer, chief operations officer for a big Fortune 500 company, and so they pulled her in.
So it's like mining through action.
But if I was going to put together an advisor list for like a fantasy ICO, if you look at their advisors though, dude, it's like they drafted all of the right advisors. They've got like the Bittrex CEO. They've got like, dude, it's nuts what they've got. But yeah, so I like Storm. Charles Hoskinson, he's a Storm guy.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys think Amazon's coming anytime soon? I saw in the news, they have some URLs, they got some domains out there, and they're basically just bought some to keep people from stealing them, I think. But do you think Amazon's coming into the space anytime soon?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw it, but they built an entire blockchain architecture. So like developers can use Amazon web servers, and they have like basically like blockchain, like a developer kit. They have an SDK built on Amazon.
Pretty sick.
But in terms of payment on Amazon, I don't think anytime soon. You can go other places like purse.io and pay with Bitcoin and actually get 15% off of Amazon purchases if you do that. But I don't think Amazon will integrate it for a while.
That reminds me of the debate on the boat. Wasn't that with Tone and with Roger Ver, where he kept saying purse.io, purse.io? That was kind of silly. But,
I didn't get to see that debate. I didn't watch the Roger Ver.
You're not missing anything.
I saw the pre-thing where they were arguing back and forth about how many people Roger Ver had with T-shirts and all that. And once I saw that, like, look, I give a lot of credit to Roger Ver. I know he's like loved and hated depending on the side of the street you're on. But look, anybody that is working their asses off to make their way in the world, I think some of the stuff he does is a little shady. And there's probably stuff he does that's probably a lot shady that I'm not even familiar with. But look, I mean, at this day and age, he's got a voice. He's out there. He's pumping the shit out of this stuff. He's putting news, and he's doing what he can. But I like Tone Vays, and I like Johnny Song, and I like the whole crew. I just thought that whole I couldn't get into the debate. I didn't even wait around to watch the debate because I thought it already started off as a shit show. And I was just,
all three of the guys are really smart, and all three of them bring value to the community. But the way that it was set up, it was just kind of, there should have been more structure, and they should have left their emotions out of it. They should have just spoke about the tech.
Right.
So I did watch it, and it was just kind of like something you would see in grade school. They didn't really present themselves or the community in the light that they should have.
Yeah, Roger strikes me as a little immature. Smart, well-to-do, but a bit immature. I mean,
did you know that he's like a world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter?
I would hope so, because he causes so much shit. He better know how to choke a motherfucker out. Like,
he's fought against like the Gracies. He's been in like the world championships for Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Hey, you know me, man. I love a jiu-jitsu player, but Roger Ver, if you ever see this, get your shit together.
What's interesting about that though is like, you did MMA. I was in the Army. I did MMA. I did BJJ as well. You did.
What
as
do they
well.
call that in the Army? They call it something else though, don't they?
Well, in the Marines, it's Krav Maga is what you get taught, like Israeli defense. But the thing with that is it teaches you how to like keep cool under pressure. So it's interesting that he gets so triggered when you're getting, you're an arm bar or something. You have to stay pretty calm under pressure. So it's interesting that he gets triggered so easily.
Right. Yeah, he seems a little bit hot-headed. He kind of goes against a lot of, I mean, anybody that is at that level of a martial art, whether it's jiu-jitsu or otherwise, you would think that they would be able to keep their shit together a little easy. I mean, but look, I mean, he's obviously a smart dude and he's on a mission, but I don't know. A part of me, I would feel better about Bitcoin Cash if he just let it be Bitcoin Cash and marketed it and enhanced it for what the fuck it is, instead of trying to take out Bitcoin and replace it. That's never going to fucking happen ever. Let it go. Focus on the positives, the things you've developed, what you have, and and just go from there and just calm the hell down. That's just the way
I think that forks, to be honest, I think forks disintegrated trust into the network last year around August.
It was like one every 3 months.
And why is it that people that do forks are always like really outspoken and they're starting a lot of crap all the time? You got like Charlie Lee and then you got Roger Ver, right? They're both just forks of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? It's like, what'd you guys really create here? Okay, you changed the block size. Okay, you changed maybe the algorithm a little bit, but not to be not to discredit them at all. But I'm just saying,
Did you guys see that Jihan Wu started speaking out against Bitcoin Cash?
Whoa!
Did you guys see that? Jihan Wu unfollowed Bitcoin Cash on Twitter, which is a big deal. But then he said, Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin. It will never be Bitcoin. I think that this is harming investors and trickery. Please stop saying that.
I think I saw something because there was something that I saw online where it was like an ad, buy Bitcoin now. And then when you go to buy it, it ends up actually being Bitcoin Cash. Right. That's some shady shit. And actually that should probably be illegal. I mean, but outside of that, there's probably some sort of internal battle, I'm guessing, to cause that situation.
Yeah, and that was one of Tone Vay's, that's one of his biggest, arguments is, hey, look, if you're Bitcoin Cash, call yourself Bitcoin Cash or BCH or something like that. Don't call yourself Bitcoin. Don't go to bitcoin.com and be, Bitcoin.
Right. That stuff should be illegal. That's a lot of the reason why Google and all these other advertisers shut down cryptocurrency advertising, because people were sending them one link and taking them to another.
Well, maybe Satoshi will come forward and sue Roger.
That's what the Bcash people are doing with Bitcoin, because they're finding people searching for Bitcoin and they're selling them Bcash in the illusion that it's Bitcoin. Same thing that BitConnect did, where they found people who wanted to learn about Bitcoin and they sold them BitConnect, people thinking they were buying Bitcoin.
Why Google and Facebook shut down their ads was because you would see an advertisement for CoinBase and that would be the number one, but then it would have like one little character off. And so you'd log into a Coinbase account, but it was all phishing.
Yeah.
So phishing scams for the last year were really prevalent. Mm-hmm. Binance, but the N had the two little dots underneath it, like it was a German letter.
That's what happened to all my Monero. Oh, nice. So
not to mention, people were just tired of looking at those James Altucher ads.
On the BJJ side of things, man, who do you guys have, Connor, or you guys got Khabib?
Connor.
Sure, same.
Connor, huh? All right. So I like them both, man. I like them both, but the thing is Khabib is the guy that can hold him down, right? So if he holds him down, like he did to my boy Chad Mendez, it's a real good friend of mine. Chad held him down for 2 rounds, gassed out, got up, and then McGregor knocked him out. So that could very well happen, So
well, hey,
I don't
guys,
know, man. It's like the best of both worlds.
I've been called, and for some reason I had a Windows Defender thing tell me I had a virus and I had it quarantined, and then all you guys left my screen. So not sure exactly what happened. So I'm gonna have to reboot, but I'll probably sign off for the night.
Is this an Ian Bellino live stream? Are you getting your wallet hacked right now?
No, it's not that. I think for whatever reason, I think some of my security stuff doesn't like Zoom. Yeah.
Or it's just the hacker that just found the back door in that's taking all your Monero.
Yeah, I don't have Monero, so he can have fun playing around. I don't have shit in this house, so he can have fun, hack away. He's going to get some pictures of my Johnson. That's about all he's going to end up with.
I better stop.
That'd be a fun little honeypot, just to post a bunch of dick pics on your computer and be like Bitcoin private key.
Dude, you have no
just
idea
put 0x in front of everything. Yeah.
You have no idea. If somebody were to happen to get access to something in this house, he'll have some fun for a few minutes. But anyway, I'm signing off, so I will. All you guys out there watching in cyberspace, crow your coins. Thank you. Have a good night. It's fucking Friday. Go drink. Go be merry. Make love, not war, and all that stuff.
Have a great weekend, my brother.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah, let's call it.